from St. Michael, Southfield.
Right.
This week there's been much debate in the British media and particularly in the church about the existence of hell. What is the Islamic belief about hell, and how are individual people saved?
I think this is an issue which is taken up absolutely without reason, without cause. It's just an unnecessary exploration. While you know what hell is created by you yourself. When you read the protest in the papers or on television of the leaders of Britain as to what is happening to our society, where children are abused, where the poor are becoming poorer and suffer so much, where in extreme colds in such an advanced countries there are so many who don't find a roof over their heads. They have to sleep in the streets in paper bags or cardboard houses. This is hell. And the ugliness is hell, which is created by man himself. So man suffers from the hell which he himself creates here in this world. In the hereafter, the hell which will follow him would be the same hell in different presentation. Each man will create a hell for himself, or does create a hell for himself, unless that hell is extinguished by the forgiveness from God. The man is bound to suffer as he suffers here in the hereafter for his unpaid debts. Right? Thank you.
The next questioner is Mr. Rahmatullah Karni. He is a well-known Urdu and Punjabi poet from Hounslow.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. And where do you hail from originally?
I was born in Abadan, Iran, while my father was serving over there.
Right, but you are a Punjabi, of course, originally.
Well, I should say that I come from the same tribe from which there was Awais Karni.
Yes, I know, but
I belong to that
talking
tribe.
of very old. I'm talking of the comparative near future, near past.
Well, I was in Amritsar.
You seem to belong to Jalandhar area or thereabout.
No, I was from Amritsar.
Amritsar, oh, that's East Punjab, I mean,
Yes.
that's right.
So अली साहब, पहले तो ये है कि मैंने एक शेर जी चाहता कि आपकी खिदमत में पेश
हाँ,
करूं। वो ये है कि लेकिन गजल का शेर है
अच्छा
कि क्या लहजा है जालिम का कि जब बात करे है, क्या लहजा है जालिम का
कि जब बात करे है,
जब बात करे है, लगता है कि फूलों से लदी शाख जड़े है। तो सुभान अल्लाह, आप
ये आपका शेर है?
जी, मेरा शेर है।
तो फिर आप ही के मुंह से फूल झड़ते थे सुने हैं। No, don't interfere with them. You know, we understand each other's language. Don't interfere, please.
तो इसी नाते से मैं ये अंग्रेजी में मैंने लिखा था कि poetic symposiums in the praise of Muhammad, the peace may be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and compiling all those verses into a book. And as Ahmadiyya, you people have done so much, the translations of Quran in different languages, the same way this will be a book and another asset to this one. Do you think that it will be a good thing to do this?
It is not only a good thing, but also we have already contemplated working on this. This morning myself I was trying to translate a poem of Hazrat Masih Maud ﷺ in praise of Allah, and I wanted to give a demonstration to the rest of the Ahmadi translators, as I want these poems to be translated in this style. And also I mean to translate some poems of his in praise of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I'm already training a team of scholars here in the art of translating, and there I have to be involved with it because the importance of translation becomes bigger and it acquires larger dimensions in relation to what is being translated. If it is the Holy Quran, then every possible care has to be taken that you remain as close to the text as it is possible, yet do not lose the beauty of the text during translation. Now, that is where a compromise has to be made without sacrificing one for the sake of the other. So it's a very, very difficult and delicate task, and very carefully it has to be attended. So we are doing it, and I am proposing to republish, to publish a new generation of Hazrat Masih poems, which you, if you read in Urdu, if you have not read in Urdu, you'll be amazed. Such a wealth of the praises sung by him of Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It's amazing how the world could miss them. The world which doesn't belong to Ahmadiyya but does belong to Islam. They shouldn't have. But inshallah we'll do some work on that. But also his Persian poetry is so rich. His Arabic poetry is so rich that starting from him, once we finish the works, then of course we'll turn to other lesser poets of Ahmadis and non-Ahmadis who have sung the eulogies of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And inshallah, your idea is beautiful and we'll follow it. Thank you.
That was the last question.
Okay, and the time is it's perfectly fitted into time as well, didn't it?
Yes.
And do you have a program for Bath as well? No, not.
There are 4 ladies.
So that will be done later on. Huh? And now we prepare for the Maghrib Isha prayer, which we'll perform together. If you are busy in a religious work or other important meetings of the community, according to Islam, then you can say 2 sets of prayers as Jama. That is, you can join Zohr with Asr and Maghrib with Isha. So this day we took opportunity, I decided to use this provision for the sake of so many guests who have come from far and wide. And inshallah, after 10 minutes or 15 minutes, after 10 minutes from now, we'll go to the mosque before if we can, but the prayer will begin about 10 minutes from now or from 10 to 15 minutes. With that I take leave of you, and I must thank you one and all. You've always, all of you have been so kind, so patient with my sometimes very long answers, and so courteous. I do not propose that you agreed with every word which I said. Naturally, many of you still retain your own individual brands of faith, but what I noticed was that you are absolutely gentlemanly and friendly, and you kept your difference to yourself but did not give them an ugly impression in any way. So God bless you and thank you for this courtesy. This is the first lesson of religion, whatever the name be. God bless you, and I take leave now.
MTA International, reaching the corners of the earth.